Rohan Trio are some of the first characters you build as part of my free-to-play farming guide because you really have no other choice. You might be wondering whether they offer raid viability in some of the later chapters. Today, I'll show you what they're capable of in Chapter 3 with minimal investment. Rohan Trio is an example of how a G7 team with only a handful of abilities at Tier 5 and none maxed can obtain a relatively high score in the raid. If you've watched my Rohan Chapter 1 video, you already know they are capable of 900k there. The mechanics of this chapter make it much more difficult with a team like Rohan. The key to this fight is to round robin the capture stacks using Aethane and Halbarad's taunts, while capitalizing on Eowyn and Naramiri's cleanses. In my opinion, you ideally want Naramiri or Eomer to be attacked first, but you can get away with Eowyn being hit as well. I placed Naramiri in the front middle, but her stealth mechanic means she's able to avoid being targeted in some situations. Regardless, it's a hard reset if either Halbrand or Aethane ever get targeted before you taunt with them. You need to be able to dictate the course of the battle. In this run, Eowyn gets targeted first. I taunted with Aethane and immediately got Eomer's summon on the board. The AoE slow is always problematic, but it's not going to derail your run on its own. With Aethane's taunt up, Halberd's turn should be used to either heal or basic. I chose to heal here because Eowyn was already low and you can't afford to lose her to the Skullcrusher's second AoE. It would have been very close in this situation. Make sure to use Eowyn's cleanse on cooldown. I only got to use it once in this fight, but I was really close to getting a second taunt off with Aethane toward the end, which might have net me a few more points if Eowyn was able to get her second cleanse off. When I taunted with Halbrand, he was almost melted, not by capture, but by enemy attacks. This is a byproduct of him not being geared or starred up well. The Skullcrusher was down to 1 HP at the time, but I had to choose between killing him and healing, and I felt that keeping Halbrand alive would allow him to absorb a couple more capture stacks. Typically, if you get this far, you're looking at upwards of 400k to 500k points. It's really a relatively easy strategy to put in place. I recently put together a video on the strategy for Road to Rivendell, which is much more difficult to set up. This one, it's really just about trying to avoid the first person being hit being Aethane or Halbrand, and after that, it's a cakewalk. Quantum out. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like it, you should click the like button and subscribe. You can also find a variety of infographics as well as my free-to-play farming guide for free on my Discord server. If you'd like to support the channel, the link to my Patreon page is in the description as well.